Hello everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome to your final instalment of our Writing to Explain podcast. Can I call it a podcast? There, I just have our final lesson on our written explanations. So hopefully you guys absolutely smashed your writing yesterday, got at least the first two boxes done. Aim in the game today is just to finish it to the very best of our ability. Okay, so in terms of what you're going to need, as always, this video, nothing really different to yesterday, so you can still use any of those writers toolkit sheets, etc. The only other things you'll need are obviously your explanation you've started, be it on a laptop or paper. The other thing I've uploaded for today is our Year 5 guide to editing. Now, I'll talk to you about how we're going to use that a bit later. You certainly don't need it for the first part of the session. All right, so to kick start, if you are ready, I've got a couple of marvellous mistakes on the board. So hopefully if you have a little look, you can pause me in just a few seconds, see if you can spot the mistakes and correct them, and then we'll go through them together, okay? So hopefully you've had a chance to look through. If we look at my first sentence, I've got, so when you have your first encounter, which could be at any given moment, you will certainly need to take some deep breaths and remain calm. Well, I certainly need to take some deep breaths, which shows me that we're probably missing some punctuation in that sentence. And if I look here, I can see straight away, I've got a couple of clues to help, like you might do if we were marking your books in school. But I've got which could be at any given moment. I know that that is a relative clause. It starts with the word which is a relative pronoun, and it comes after my noun encounter. So if it's a relative clause, what should it begin with? Yes, a comma, I hear you say. So if we put that in there, let's just check what it sounds like. When you have your first encounter, which could be at any given moment, you will certainly need to take some deep breaths and remain calm. Aha, well, I can see that's a relative clause I've used in the middle of my sentence. Therefore, I need a comma sandwich. So again, if I pop that here, let's just check. We can check if that's right, because if we take the relative clause out of the sentence should still make sense. So when you have your first encounter, you will certainly need to take some deep breaths and remain calm. Ace, we've smashed it. So commas there for my relative clause. Really common mistake, a marvellous mistake that we would forget those. Perhaps have a look through yours and see if you've got anything similar. Now, the next thing, again, talking of common marvellous mistakes, certainly it looks almost right, doesn't it? However, there's two letters I've got the wrong way round. It's the I and the A. Put your hand up if you've done that before. Woohoo, me. So obviously, if this was in your book, you would put a lovely neat line with a ruler through that word, correct it above. I'm cheating, I'm typing, so I am literally just going to correct that. Swap it round. Certainly, I always think. Okay, so that looks about right now. Happy with that one. If I look at the next one, additionally, it's absolutely essential we keep calm. Well, I've used a fronted adverbial. What haven't I used for a fronted adverbial? Yes, a comma. So again, let's get that comma in there. Additionally, comma, it's absolutely essential we keep calm. Same rule applies if you use an I space. Think about where that comma goes. Best way to find it. Read it out loud. Listen to where the pause should be, or where you naturally pause, because that's likely where the comma is meant to be. Okay. Final thing then. So we've got the immortal that can turn into a constellation will be hungry. Hungry. That was an accidental error. Maybe it's because I'm feeling a little bit hungry myself that I've got that incorrect. We know hungry ends in a Y. Let's just change that. Okay. Well, I've spoken a lot about commas. Can't get enough of them. However, we know I've used a relative clause about the immortal. I've said that they can turn into a constellation. However, I've used that. What's the rule with that? Yes, you're correct. We don't use, that is a bit of a rule breaker in that it's the only relative pronoun we don't need a comma in front of. So I can just get rid of that. The immortal that can turn into a constellation will be hungry. And again, if I got rid of the relative clause, the immortal will be hungry. Makes sense. So hopefully couple of reminders there, something that might have then caused something in your writing to catch your eye. Why don't you pause me here and just spend a couple of minutes looking over your writing now? Okay. Right, hopefully you have had a chance to correct those and we're ready to move on. So not an awful lot for me to say other than, guys, you are going to boss it today. It is our final day of writing, and I've got a couple of reminders and edit times on here, very similar to yesterday, just to run through. So, like I said yesterday, few reminders. Pack the skills in. You've got the skill sheets. They're still on the website. Load them up, look at them, use them to help you get as many skills as you can into your writing. Okay. Like we just had in our starter there, if you're using relative clauses, make sure you're using the commas correctly. None for that. 1 if it's at the end of a sentence with any other relative pronoun. 2, comma sandwich if you're using something in the middle. Okay. Check your spellings. Again, we just had that in the starter. Undoubtedly is another one. We've had some wild and wacky spellings of undoubtedly, all of which I really enjoy. But it's worth checking your skill poster that I put up for that. Check the spellings of those. And yeah, just a little reminder for commas after I space as well. Read it out loud. Listen to where you think the pause should be. Something else that I've just realised I haven't written on here is headings. This is a piece of non-fiction writing, and something we identified in the Waggle was the use of headings and subheadings to organise ideas into sections. You guys should be doing that as well. If you haven't on the first couple of sections, maybe go back and add those in, and as you move forward, just really easy, heading, underline it. And then it just makes your writing, much more accessible to the reader. Okay. In terms of the edit times, again, I put these up. This is a guide. Personally, for me, I know this is the style of writing I prefer. I like to write for a section, have a bit of time to have a bit of a movement break, and then edit, go back and look at it with a pair of fresh eyes before carrying on. It might be you like to write for a little bit longer before you have a pause and edit. You do you, but that's a little guide there to help you if you need to, okay? And basically, yeah, just finish off those. Either some of you will have 3 boxes to finish off today. Some of you might have done 3 yesterday, so you've only got 2 today. Wherever you're at, keep going. Remember those paragraphs, those bite-sized chunks. And yeah, just absolutely smash your writing. And then once you've finished, what I'd recommend, if you pause me here, perhaps have this up on the screen so you've got those reminders kind of right smack bam in your face. And then if you want to unpause, I should say, once you've finished, I've got a couple of things for you guys to move on to. Okay. Right. Hopefully that's it. You have finished your writing. Well done. That is amazing, because let me tell you, I know that doing a big old bit of writing at home without your classmates around you, etc., is probably not the same. Perhaps you found it a bit more tricky. Perhaps you found it easier. However it's been, well done from me to thee. Super proud. Okay. So now you've finished. First thing to do, finish off filling in your success criteria, whether it was the one you printed off, whether you put it in your margin or whatever. Have a look through, fill in. Have you managed to include all your skills? If not, that could be something that we can go back to in just a minute, okay? Because to finish off, now we've done our writing, we know that in class, we then spend a little bit of time just editing and improving it to make sure it can be the best that it can be. And that's what I want you guys to do today as well. So first things first, I know in terms of marking your books, Ms. Rutherford and I won't have had a chance to look through and do our normal SPGs, now task, etc. Now you've got a couple of options here. I've uploaded our guide to editing little sheet that you guys normally have in your packs when it comes to editing. And so that should hopefully remind you, refresh kind of what SPGs are, any other codes that we would tend to use in your writing, any other ways we might mark. Now, you guys, I've known this from the beginning anyway, you guys could probably all be even better teachers than Ms. Rutherford and I, okay? And you always do a great job. I know when you're doing your editing in pairs, you do a great job of helping each other. Today, you've got 2 choices. It might be that you are the teacher today. You go through your writing and have a look for those SPGs yourself. You could even do the little, choose a different colour pen, do the little codes in your margin or whatever, up to you. Or it could be that you could ask an adult or somebody just to have a look through and see if there's any edits that need to be made there. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do. Just have a little go at that kind of revising side of things, which is the editing and the corrections. Next thing you could do, if you move on to redrafting, remember that's when we take a little bit of our writing and we make it even better. It might be that we upscale our vocabulary that we're using. It might be that we have a look and we realise our sentence structure is all the same, or we're using the same sentence starters and it's just a bit boring. So have a think about how you might want to rewrite. It might just be one of those 5 sections. It might be a little mini paragraph that you focus on. Completely up to you, but have a go at redrafting a little section. And I've put on there about using an editing flap, which is, you know, what we do in school where we have the paper and we put it on the top. You do you though, however works. Final thing is creating your own front cover. So think about if someone was picking up this guide on how to look after immortals, what would the front cover look like? I've said about doing using the ones that we looked at before as inspiration. If I'll whiz back through our slides and I can leave those, and you can always pause it on this screen as well. Sorry, aha, here we go. So these were the front covers we had for Training a Dragon, Learning Basic Maths, Piano, etc. What front cover would you create for your guide on how to look after immortals? Okay, so those are just a few examples. Gosh, there we go. A few examples of things you can do once you've finished your writing, and we'll leave it up to you. As always, if you want to send your examples through, please do. Ms. Rutherford and I would love to have a look at them. We know you will have done an amazing job and it would be brilliant to share it with you. Any questions, just drop us an email. And yeah, well done. You've done it. That's amazing. Tomorrow is going to be something a little bit different for the next few days. Focusing on a different part of English, but it's something I know you will really enjoy. All right, take it steady, guys. Bye.